study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Struggling with weight loss? Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet is a clinically developed nutrition program designed to promote fat loss while protecting lean body mass. Developed at USC's Longevity Institute, it assists the body in entering a fasting-like state that helps reset metabolism and target visceral fat. In just 5 days, Prolon offers a science-backed approach to weight loss without extreme restriction or guesswork. Get 15% off plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe at prolonlife.com/now.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bull spend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey there, Mama Work It Tribe. I'm Marisa Lonick, working mom of 4, lover of all things flow, family, and fulfillment. You're tuning in to the Mama Work It podcast, where we take aim at overwhelm, mom guilt, and exhaustion and swap them out for big dreams, belly laughs, and productivity that actually fits into your life. Every week, we dive into tips, motivation, and a healthy dose of fun so you can slay your day even when you're busy AF. Ready to feel seen, energized, and totally unstoppable? Let's get to work, mama. Hey, mamas. Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. So glad you're here as always. My name is Marisa Lonick. I am your host, working mama of 4, and the founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of mom life, work life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So super excited, as always, that we have a guest this week. Her name is Rachel Shi. She is a Houston-based mom of 3, a content creator and educator with a master's degree from Rice University. She has a diverse teaching background spanning science, language, and movement, including founding her own Mandarin program. She is also the host of the Bilingual podcast, Once Upon a Time, Twice, with Miss Rachel Shi, where she teaches families how to incorporate Chinese into their everyday lives. Through her content, Rachel shares practical, real strategies for raising bilingual children while balancing motherhood, marriage, and a full life. She is passionate about bridging Chinese and American cultures and helping families build meaningful connections through language, tradition, and intentional parenting. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
It is such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, growing up bilingual, bicultural, I'm so excited to dive into this topic. So tell us a little bit more about your story. What made you want to raise your kids bilingual? Give us the background.
Yeah. So something I learned early on is that culture is something that can disappear in a generation or two if you're not intentional. So knowing that both me and my husband come from Chinese American families, and we speak the language, we want that to be something that's passed down. We don't want that to disappear in 1 or 2 generations. I was born in Shanghai, China. For those of you who don't know Shanghai, it's like New York City in America. It's a big city, lots of people, very modern. So growing up, I understand how it's like to be living in 2 cultures and 2 languages. When I was in high school, Miley Cyrus came out with the song Best of Both Worlds. And that was like my middle school and high school life song. Because before that, I felt I didn't have the identity. I was searching for whether I'm American enough or Chinese enough. And when I heard that song, I'm like, I can have both. I can have the best of both worlds. Okay. So now I'm raising children who are born, raised in America. They're mainly in an English environment, and I realized that it takes intention to raise them bilingually so that the culture and the language aren't lost. So for us, language is also about identity and family and belonging. My kids' grandparents don't speak great English, so I want them to be able to communicate with the grandparents. My in-laws live in Hong Kong, my parents live in Shanghai, and being able to speak to the grandparents is, it's important for any family. I want them to be confident navigating both of their American and their Chinese roots and cultures and identities. And because growing up in an English dominant environment, we knew that speaking another language other than English doesn't just happen accidentally. So we try to make it a part of our everyday life, speaking it at home, exposing them to different media, traveling, and just to create that environment where language feels alive and it's not a chore. It's not another class on top of other classes at school.
Yeah. I love that so much. So how old were you when you came to the US?
I was 10 going on 11.
Wow. Okay. So a big part of your childhood was in China.
Yes. Although I didn't have the super traditional Chinese upbringing, I was sent to an international school at a young age. So I had teachers from the Great Britain teaching me English growing
Got
up.
it.
So when I came over here, I actually had a little bit of a British accent that I had to get rid of so that I could be more American.
Got it. Okay. And your husband, who's also Chinese American, was he also born outside the US?
He was, yes. Yeah, we have like a Korean drama kind of a love story. So we've known each other all of our lives.
Oh, okay.
It is unheard of. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so
And-
my mom and his mom have actually been best friends since they were pregnant with us.
No way.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Okay. This is so cute. We need a whole nother episode on this, but we'll dive back into our bilingual kid topic here.
Yes.
So you're a mom of 3, obviously quite busy. How do you realistically maintain consistency with this bilingualism in your home?
Yeah, that is a great question. So there are 3 things that I love to do at home. As a teacher, I know that kids are not just going to do something because I ask them to. They need somebody to model and do it with them. So that's one of the biggest things I do is that I model the language. I'm not just saying, okay, you need to speak Chinese now, like for the next 30 minutes, because I know that's not going to work. If I'm teaching physics at school and I say, go work on that experiment, the kids are not just going to do it. I need to be modeling it. I need to be working on it with them. Then they get excited about doing it. So I'm not just teaching Chinese, I'm being bilingual in front of them as well. So everyday moments like giving instructions, disciplining, storytelling, they all become a part of our everyday life. I did it primarily in Chinese when they were before they turned 4, before they started going to school. So their Chinese was like fluent before going to school. Once they started school, it got a little more challenging. So I make sure to read them stories like I do on my podcast, where I would say, good night, I love you, 晚安，我爱你. I'll just translate like that in front of them so that they see the connection, they make that connection. They also see me translating at church sometimes. We used to go to a Chinese American church, and the pastor would request a translator on stage. And I would get picked a lot where I would translate side by side as a pastor is speaking in English or Chinese, I would translate into the other language. So my kids see that I am able to do that by modeling that. They want to be like mom. So that helps a lot. Yeah. So that's the first thing I do. So the second is immersion, because I don't think we learn the language just by reading a textbook. We got to be immersed in the culture. So we love to travel locally or globally. Locally, we love taking them to Chinatown, going to the restaurants, going to order a bubble tea, and they see mommy order dim sum in Chinese, and they pick that up just by watching me. We've also taken them to Shanghai and Hong Kong and Taiwan, some of the main places that speak Chinese. And I keep telling them that Chinese is the most spoken language in the world. If you can speak English and Chinese, you can be anywhere. I also look up stories of what other parents do. So when I was at Rice, the Rice president's wife was also from Shanghai. And so they have biracial, half Chinese, half white kids who have been learning Chinese since very young because the mom makes a point that, it's an important language, you got to know it. So I tell them that, like, you want to, just great role models to look up to. And then I saw that Ivanka Trump, this is not political at all, but Ivanka Trump hired a Chinese tutor for her kids and for her family that has no Chinese ethnicity ties to want to learn the language was an inspiration for our family. I'm like, if the Trump family is learning Chinese, how much more important it is for you who look Chinese to know the language. So yeah, I try to inspire them that way, and I immerse them in the travel, the culture, the going to the local restaurants or churches to learn that. So they know it's not just a school skill, but it's tied to their identity.
Yes, yes.
And lastly is repetition. Repetition is so important in everything we learn, right? So we make it a routine by saying certain phrases, by listening to certain songs over and over, by having certain expectations daily in both languages so that they know it. So every night I would say, 晚安,我爱你, good night, I love you. Just by you hearing me say that twice, you're probably picking that up too, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes a part of their background music in their daily life, and it's not forced. The greeting words, asking how school was, I make it a point to ask them in Chinese after school when they don't feel like speaking it because they just had a whole day of lesson in English. But I would say, 今天学校怎么样? How was school today? And by asking that, sometimes they respond in Chinese, sometimes they respond in English, but at least I'm providing that environment for them to be able to hear that repeatedly. Yeah. So those are 3 things that I do at home.
This episode is being sponsored by AquaTrue. Did you know 3 out of 4 U.S. homes have toxic chemicals in their tap water? Even though contaminated water looks clear, it could put you at risk for devastating health concerns, including fatigue, hormone disruption, cognitive decline, even cancer. Surprisingly, standard fridge and pitcher filters do little to remove most contaminants, and bottled water contains microplastics. So what's the solution? Introducing AquaTrue, the countertop water purifier tested and certified to remove 84 contaminants, including chlorine, lead, forever chemicals, and microplastics. Its patented 4-stage reverse osmosis system goes way beyond ordinary filters for pure, healthy water you can trust. No plumbing, no installation. AquaTrue has been featured in Business Insider, Popular Science, and named Best Countertop Water Filter by Good Housekeeping. Join 98% of customers who say their drinking water is cleaner, safer, and healthier. Head to aquatrue.com now and get 20% off your purifier using promo code MAMA. AquaTrue even comes with a 30-day best tasting water guarantee or your money back. Take the guesswork out of pure, great tasting water with this exclusive podcast-only offer now at aquatrue.com. AQUATRU.com using promo code MAMA, MAMA. Absolutely. I love those tips. And I think sometimes even if your kids are not responding in the language that you're speaking, they're getting this native fluency in just listening and hearing it, right? In that environment, as you mentioned. So if you're listening and you are struggling with raising bilingual kids because they maybe answer you in English when you're speaking the language that you want them to learn, just know that it's still working in some capacity.
Absolutely. Marisa and I, we were talking about how we're both recovering perfectionists.
Yes.
And with perfectionists, something that we struggle with is starting because we want everything to go perfect. So I want to tell all the parents out there that you don't have to do it perfectly. Just by doing something imperfectly is totally okay. Just saying a greeting word in the morning or plugging a little bit here and there, it's all good. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Absolutely. Okay, so have your kids ever resisted speaking Chinese? And how did you handle those moments while still kind of holding your standard or just wanting this to be a continuation of how you were raising them?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're kids. They will resist. The older they get, the more that happens. So that's where the teacher part in me comes in. I try to make everything a game. It makes it fun for them. For example, if we're at a restaurant and we're waiting for food to come, I'm not shaming anybody who puts devices in front of their kids. I use devices all the times too, but we try not to have any device at a dinner table. I use those moments as teaching moments. I would make it a game saying, who knows how to say tomato in Chinese? And then they will be like, oh, I know this. And then they try to make it a game, a competition. And then after I go through the basic words, I might have a little trivia game, like who can name 3 vegetables that are green in Chinese. And they would just rack their brain. They'll look at each other. They'll get so competitive. And it just makes it fun for them. So that's something I love to do, is to make it fun, gamify the experience. It's not here's a worksheet, please get it done by Monday. It's how can we incorporate this into everyday life and make it fun?
Yeah, I love that. I don't know if you know this about me, Rachel, but for many years, I worked in the au pair industry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. And so for a number of those years, I was in charge of training au pairs from over like 40 countries. And a lot of families who hire au pairs like love the aspect of the cultural exchange and the bilingualism, or like bringing that new language or new culture into their home. And so we would give au pairs tips on how to do this during their training. And one of them that I still remember was teaching them songs in different languages. So like we would teach them head, shoulders, knees, and toes, like for toddlers and stuff. And then we'd say, now do it in your language. And I kid you not, I've learned many languages of how to sing that song. Is that something you also do? I mean, I know your kids are a bit older now than toddler age, but maybe when they were younger, did you do a lot of songs in Chinese?
Yes, we did so many songs, and it was so amazing to see that a lot of the popular nursery rhymes are in many different languages with the same tune. So we would sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star all the times in Chinese, and they can sing it in Chinese and English, and they will feel so proud that they can do both.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. And I think songs really stick with you, kind of like stories. Like songs are those things you remember. I mean, my kids learn songs for so many things at school, like even just like grammar rules and things like that. And I remember stuff like that from when I was really little too, to remember prepositions. There's a song about that and I remember it. So I think that's a really good way for stuff to stick too.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah. So let's say I have a kind of a side question here, a selfish one, right? In our family, I speak a different language than English, and my husband speaks a different language than English, but they're not the same. And so we found that really challenging in raising our kids bilingual, because it wasn't organic for us to speak the second language to each other, because I don't understand his and he doesn't understand mine. So maybe in families where both parents are not speaking the same second language, or like there's just one parent who knows the second language, do you have any advice or tips for that?
Yeah. Can I ask what languages you guys speak?
Yes. So I was born speaking Italian and English, and he was born speaking Croatian and English.
That's amazing. That's so amazing.
I didn't come out of the womb speaking the languages, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It doesn't happen accidentally. Totally. I love that. Your parents probably were intentional teaching you and immerse you in that environment, right? In a way.
Yes. And we had family from overseas that lived with us for a while, and we lived overseas for a while. So it was a combination of a lot of different environmental factors.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you mind sharing what your goal is for your children? Do you want them to be trilingual? Do you want them to be exposed to Italian more than Croatian, or the other way around?
I mean, if I'm being honest, my kids are now 6, 8, and 12. I feel like we've missed the really great window for implementing that. But I think any exposure is good exposure. So culturally, I think they're getting tons of great exposure, but language wise, I don't think they're getting nearly enough. And that's our bad because we didn't necessarily implement it.
I see the perfectionist coming out of you, Marisa, because it's
Oh
never
no,
too
it's
late.
happening. It's happening.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come step into centuries of history that await in Scotland. Castles steeped in legend walk along cobblestone streets. Come share the warmth of stories passed down through generations. This is a place with a past that is fully present today and all yours to explore. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
I am the same way, so I totally get it. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too late doing something, but just know that you're never too late. The
You're
little
never
bit
too
that
late.
they get at 6, 8, 12, whatever age they are at, it will add up. It's going to make an impact on their lives in the future. So it's never too late. A little bit can go a long way. Something easy we do that most people might not know is that a lot of the streaming services have movies and TV shows in multiple languages. And I bet you can find many Disney movies and cartoons in Italian, if that's something that you want your kids to get exposed to. My husband is fluent in Japanese, and I'm not kidding you. He learned it from watching anime in high school. Just having Japanese spoken in the background and then English subtitles, he was able to learn Japanese. And it was really learning because we visited Japan 2 years ago and he was able to communicate with everybody. It's amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, anyway, so Disney Plus and Netflix, I'm able to find a lot of movies and TV shows that you can change the setting into another language. So for example, for Chinese, I found Encanto and Frozen, Mulan, Zootopia, Luca, Turning Red, Bluey. We've actually watched all of these in English and Chinese. So that by watching, like if your kids watch the whole movie in Italian for an hour and a half, afterwards they're going to want to speak Italian a little bit.
Okay.
It's just an easy way to do it. Yes.
Yeah. And movies are usually like very enthusiastic yes here if I suggest that. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just having the English subtitle on the bottom and having the whole movie shown in the language of your choice, it really helps kids.
Okay. Love that tip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one thing you can do. And if you want to be intentional, just speaking a little bit of Italian in the morning, say good morning to them in Italian or good night. I love you. Little bits of things really add up.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about your podcast. So this is a passion project you have that you started a while back, and tell us what it is. It's specifically for families who want their children to learn Chinese, right? Because you're speaking Chinese and English. So what's the premise? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So a few years ago, one of my good friends from college was very unfortunately in a tragedy. And that just showed me how short life is. And I was praying what kind of legacy I will leave behind in the future. And I was thinking about all the things that I am able to do. And I thought about Chinese, how I am able to teach that to my kids for free. And if I can bring that to everyone else for free, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be an awesome legacy that I can leave behind? And so I started that in honor of my friend, Cindy, who passed away. So that's how it started. And I made sure to make it, freely accessible to anybody. How I structure the podcast is exactly how I read to my children at night, at least for the first 5-6 years of their lives. Now that my kids are reading Harry Potter and Percy Jackson, it is impossible to go sentence by sentence in English and Chinese. But back then, when it was, a lot easier with the younger kid stories, I was able to do that. And that helped them tremendously in learning the language. So for example, we had brown bear, what do you see? I would always read brown bear, what do you see? 棕熊，你看到了什么? And those are books that, even American parents, we read so much. It's not just the one-time reading and we put it away, right? It's a book that we read a lot. So by hearing the two languages repeatedly, they catch on.
I love that.
So I decided to just bring that to everyone else. I don't know if other bilingual families do that, but I love reading to my kids. It's one of the times in the day that's non-negotiable, is that I read to every single one of my kids before they go to bed. And so
do you still do this as they know how to read now? Do you still do it, or do they read to you? How does it work when they're a little bit older?
I think my oldest one is just humoring me by still letting me read to her. She really doesn't need anybody reading to her. She's reading such big books. But I am reading the Front Desk series by Kelly Yang. I actually got to meet her on Instagram. She's super cool. And she is a Chinese American. She wrote this series of books, and that's the series I'm reading with my oldest right now. We just go through a few chapters every night, and we talk about it because it incorporates culture and language. For the most part, she's reading by herself, but I'm still not letting go of that time that I get to have with her at night. So I make sure to read to every one of them.
I love it. Oh, that's amazing. Remind us of the ages of your kids. I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah. So the oldest two, they just turned 13 and 11. It is crazy. I cannot believe it. The youngest is 8. He's in 2nd grade right now.
Okay. Yeah. I love that you're still doing that. All right. Last question before we move into our lightning round here, Rachel. For moms who maybe have this dream of raising bilingual children, but they feel either unqualified or too busy, or maybe they weren't raised bilingual, or maybe they don't even speak a second language, but they want their kids to learn a second language. What would you tell them to get started?
Okay. First of all, like we said, you do not need to be perfect. You don't need to be a certified teacher to be a good teacher for your kids. You just need to be intentional. So I would say being intentional and consistent are the biggest elements. And to create an environment for your kids, however it works for your family. If you have the means to travel, then travel, expose them, immerse them. If you don't have the means to travel, that's okay too. There's so much free resource out there. Like I said about, Netflix and Disney Plus, you can watch the movies and TV shows in the language of your choice. You can go down to YouTube, which is like a university. So many resources out there that you can use. There is Duolingo. So you don't even need to be speaking the language for your kids to be exposed to that. They can do Duolingo. One thing I did for my kids intentionally was also putting them in activities that may use that language.
Oh.
So I had my kids do Taekwondo for a couple years. Then I realized that the teacher's always speaking to them in Korean. They're counting in Korean. They're doing all these greeting words in Korean. I'm like, I don't know. I don't need them to be learning Korean right now. It's a great language, but we need to focus on Chinese. So I switched them to Kung Fu. And the Kung Fu master speaks to them in Chinese. And when they're doing those movements, they're counting in Chinese. I'm like, great. This is a great way to immerse them in something. And I have Spanish-speaking family friends who put their kids in flamenco dance.
Right.
And they are learning how to do those dances or, do Zumba or, so that they're exposed to the language and the culture at the same time. And it's not forced. It's not like you have to do a worksheet. You have to get a tutor. There are different ways to immerse your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you need to be fluent. You just have to be consistent and intentional doing it.
And it makes it fun if it's part of their extracurricular fun things they're doing, right? It sort of integrates those two things, which I love. I never thought about that. My one son, I think all my kids have done some form of karate, but yeah, they speak another language when they're doing it. And I never put the 2 and 2 together that they were picking up on that awesome skill set.
Yeah. They really are.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't offend the Taekwondo teacher by switching them to Kung Fu. but selfishly, I just want them to be in that environment where they can learn Chinese as well.
I think it's probably just fine. All right, Rachel, we're going to move on to our lightning round now, where I'm going to ask you some random, fun, personal questions just so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
I am here for it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What is your guilty pleasure TV show?
Okay. I'm not just saying this because we're recording this specific topic, but I love a good Chinese drama.
Yeah.
And you can find them on YouTube and Netflix and a lot of different platforms now. Chinese dramas are just, they're very clean. There's something about the Chinese culture that's very conservative, so nobody cusses. There's like no sex and violence. It's very clean and it's very relational. So I love watching Chinese drama, and it's a way for me and my husband to bond too. Sometimes we're so busy, we don't get to see each other all day. And to be able to sit down and watch 40 minutes of an episode together and then talk about it afterwards, it's just amazing. So I love Chinese drama.
Okay. Is this kind of like a soap opera in Chinese?
Yes.
Okay. Love it. Love it.
It's like Korean drama. You know, Korean drama is more well known, but Chinese drama is equally good, in my opinion.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Is there a favorite series that you recommend?
Oh, I have so many that I can email a list to you after this.
Okay. We can pop a few of them in our show notes today. So our listeners who want to envelop themselves in the Chinese drama shows know where to go first. Okay. You heard it. All right. Serious question. Nail salon, hair salon, or spa. You can only pick one to visit for the rest of your life. Which one is it? You are such a gorgeous, glamorous content creator. I'm so curious what your answer is going to be here.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I would definitely pick spa. One, because I think hair and nail is something that everybody just keeps up with. Right? You have to trim your nails and you have to, do whatever. But spa, it is such like a luxurious way to relax and refresh. And for me personally, my esthetician is one of my best friends. I see her once a month, and she takes care of my face, and it's a counseling session for both of us. We catch up on everything. We talk about so many things. So it's just spa for sure.
It's multi-purpose for you. It's multi-purpose.
Definitely.
What if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life? What would it be? Calories don't count.
Ooh. Bubble tea.
Yes.
I already drink a ton of bubble tea to begin with. And if calories don't count, like definitely, to me, bubble tea is like the perfect blend of healthy and fun. Green tea is healthy, right? And the boba is just fun and sweet and just makes life fun. So I can have that every single day of my life.
Do you have a favorite flavor, like your go-to flavor?
I tend to order either peach oolong tea or green tea. I do it with no sugar because I drink so much of it. I can't have sugar. And then I'll do a cheese foam on top. You can shake it up. It's so good. And then I add boba, the brown sugar boba. It's delicious.
Whoa, I got to really up my boba game because this is, what is the foam? What?
It's a lot of the places would have that. I'll have to take you to some later if I see you in Austin again.
Yes.
So I get like the green tea with the cheese foam. I get it with no sugar, no ice, with brown sugar boba. You shake it up, you drink it. It's delicious.
I'm writing this down. I'm upping my boba order. I'm usually like a taro milk tea boba, and I feel like it's delicious, but maybe it's a little boring. Maybe I need to up my boba game. I don't know.
There's so many flavors. And one tip, I don't like getting ice because I feel like, why am I paying $2 for half a cup of ice? So I always tell them no ice, and most bubble tea places are good about filling the tea to the top, even if you ask for no ice. It's
Got
not
it.
like Starbucks.
Okay. Love. Good tips. Okay. Last question. If you could go on vacation tomorrow, anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
The Maldives, 100%. The Maldives is just one of those really gorgeous places on earth. And knowing that it's not sinking, it's more like the sea level is rising. So we may not be able to see it one day. That sense of urgency makes me want to visit it more.
Yeah.
And
I did not know this.
I'm actually thinking about going there. Yeah. I think like 80% of this island country is only 1 meter above sea level or something like that.
Okay, so we got to book our flights. Yeah. We got to make it happen.
Yes. Yep.
All right, Rachel, we'll tell our listeners where they can find you, learn more about you, where they can find the podcast, especially.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at RachelXEverAfter. My podcast is Once Upon a Time Twice with Miss Rachel She. Twice because I use 2 languages in that podcast. I am a DM away from any questions that you may have.
Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much for being here and sharing all this incredible knowledge and these wonderful tips.
Thank you for having me, Marisa.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you feel empowered, inspired, and ready to take your next step. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another amazing mama, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps us show up wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to head over to mamaworkit.com for free resources, coaching support, and new ways to momage your days as a busy mom. Until next time, keep on working it, mama.